Welcome to Inspiration and Transformation from the Banks of the Ganga with Sadhvi Bhagwati Saraswati, an American sannyasi living at the Parmarth Niketan Ashram in Rishikesh, India. Sadhvi is president of the Divine Shakti Foundation, a charitable organization bringing education, vocational training, upliftment, and empowerment programs to women and children. Sadhvi is also Secretary General of the Global Interfaith Wash Alliance and Director of the world-famous International Yoga Festival. Join the musings of an American sannyasi as Sadhvi shares the wisdom and teachings of her guru, His Holiness Pujya Swami Chidanand Saraswatiji.
Where I am speaking to you now from Rishikesh, India, on the holy banks of Mother Ganga, in the lap of the Himalayas. It is a beautiful, beautiful evening here. I hope it is a beautiful day wherever you are, in whatever part of the world. It's such a joy to be coming together at this sacred time every week. Let us take just a moment, wherever you are. If you can, close your eyes. If you can't close your eyes safely, don't worry. But just bring the awareness from the outer to the inner. Bring the awareness, the focus, the consciousness from the outer world to the inner world. Allow the thoughts, the fears, the expectations, the responsibilities, the identities that you wear every minute of every day, that you carry with you, that you keep close, that you think of as yourself. Allow them to dissipate and dissolve. As you exhale, allow yourself to truly let go. You can always pick them up again later, but just for now, just for a few moments, allow yourself to sink to a place that is the true self. Sink to a place deep within the self. Sink to a place in the core of your being. The place of consciousness, of love, of light, of peace. The source of the sun. Give yourself a few moments to rest there. Allowing all of that which is not self, the fears, the expectations, the desires, the attachments, the false identities, the physical body, all of that which is limited, that which is finite, that which is decayed, that which is fallible. All of that which is not self. Just let it go as you exhale deeply. Wherever you are, whether your eyes are open or shut, just let it go as your exhalation brings you deep into the present moment. Deep into the source. Deep into the true self. Slowly, if your eyes are closed, you may want to open them again. You certainly don't have to. But allow your awareness and your consciousness to be one with the present moment. Where you are, the activity you're involved in, the beautiful, divine reflections of creation around you, whether in the form of other humans, animals, or nature. We are surrounded at every minute and every moment by beautiful reflections and embodiments of creation. Allow your ears again to hear the sounds around you. Your eyes to behold the sight. Your senses to become full of the expression, the manifestation and expression and embodiment of the divine on earth in all of that around you. This evening, on inspiration and transformation, we will take 3 different topics during our 3 segments following the upcoming break. We will talk in the first segment about spirituality and how to bring it into our daily lives. In the second segment, we will talk about the difference between spirituality and religion. What does it mean when we say I'm spiritual but not religious? We will then discuss the concept of God with form compared to the formless. Is there a difference? Are they the same? Join us in just a few moments after this short break for more inspiration and transformation from the banks of Mother Ganga.
Free your mind with OMTimes Radio, IOM-FM.
My name is Victor Furman. Some call me The Voice. I've always been fascinated with human nature, spirituality, science, and the crossroads at which they meet. Join me Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio, and we'll explore these topics and so much more on Destination Unlimited.
Have you ever wondered how to change your love paradigm? The secret key is finding a love partnership, not just a regular connection. How do you find these? Through conscious relationships. Ascending Hearts Dating is a dating site for people like you that believes in second chances and a different type of spiritual connection. Try Ascending Hearts for free today at ascendinghearts.com and change your love paradigm. Ascending Hearts, the premier dating community for the spiritually awake. Host your show on IOM-FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM-FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community.
This is Terry Van Horn, and I want to invite you to join me for my weekly radio show, Hailing Light, on OMTimes Radio every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On Healing Light, we want to bring love, light, and blessings into your world. You can find out more about us at www.healinglightonline.com. Blessings.
The Real Conscious Connection. OMTimes Radio. IOM-FM.
To inspiration and transformation from the holy banks of the Mother Ganga River as she flows forth from the Himalayas, irrigating not only our land, but our hearts and our minds and our spirits. In this segment, we will talk about spirituality and how to bring it into our daily lives. And again, for all of the listeners, if there is a question you have which you would like addressed on inspiration and transformation, please feel free to send it to me by email at sadviji@omtimes.com. That's SADVIJI@omtimes.com. I will take 3 or 4 questions or topics every week. Today, in this segment, I will answer, how do we bring spirituality into our daily lives? The first and most important thing to remember is that spirituality means of the Spirit, pertaining to the Spirit. So when we live our lives connected to Spirit, focused on Spirit, when we identify as Spirit, that is living spiritually. Most of us identify materially. If I say, who are you? Most people will give their name, their age, where they live, what they do, maybe their religion, maybe their relationships, who's husband or wife, mother or father, son or daughter, employer or employee or colleague or partner. But this is not who we are. This is just the current intersection of time and space for the vehicle we are in. The body is the vehicle we are in. It's a wonderful, beautiful, incredible, magic, divine vehicle. Through this vehicle, we experience consciousness. We experience love. We experience the divine. So it's an amazing vehicle. But it isn't who we are. And as long as we identify as the vehicle, we objectify ourselves and we objectify all of those around us. So living spiritually means identifying as the Spirit, as the essence that runs through, that infuses this vehicle of mine. And as I do that, then rather than seeing others as objects, others as their vehicles, I also see them as the Spirit, as the essence that flows through them. And I connect with them, essence to essence, spirit to spirit, rather than body to body, or form to form. So when we talk about bringing spirituality into our daily lives, spirituality is our daily life. If it isn't, then it's not spirituality. If I am only able to see Spirit in an image, picture, a statue, a book, in my place of worship, in my synagogue, my temple, my church, if I'm only able to see it there and not in the divine creation around me, then it's not really spirituality. Because that same divine spirit that infuses my house of worship flows through me. It is me. And it is all of those around me. So spirituality is a commitment to see myself, to connect with myself and the world around me as spirit rather than form. We may appreciate form. Beauty is beautiful. It's wonderful to notice and appreciate form. But we must not mistake the form for the content, the vehicle for the essence. So spirituality is focusing our lives, our vision, our focus on essence, on content, rather than on the form or the vehicle. And when we do that, then every minute of our lives becomes an opportunity for spirituality. Our workplaces, our families, running errands, because wherever we go, we are face to face with another possibility of seeing the divine. Yet another form, another vehicle through which the divine flows. And so we are able to turn our entire lives into spiritual practice. A very important aspect of that is being present and mindful. Because I cannot connect to the divine. I cannot connect deeply within myself tomorrow or yesterday or an hour from now or an hour ago. The only possibility I have is right here and right now. We are only able to be connected in the present moment. Because the minute that my mind wanders into the future or into the past, I have lost the connection. I have lost the present moment. So whether I'm sitting with my eyes closed in meditation, or whether I am interacting with people around me, if I am fully present, fully mindful, fully connected, then that moment is spirituality in action. Because then what I am able to do as I deeply connect with myself, and therefore with them, is to bring the divine, to bring spirit, whatever name, whatever form we use, no names, no forms, it doesn't matter. The divine is infinite. So all forms, no form, all names, no name, doesn't matter. But when I am present with presence, then I am present with that divine. Whether it's with my eyes closed in meditation, or whether it's in conversation or action with people around me. My presence is all that's needed. And the minute that I bring presence and mindfulness into the moment, then everything becomes spiritual. This is why in so many of the Buddhist meditation practices and teachings, they teach eating meditation, for example, or walking meditation. And they will give you a raisin or a grape and a full meditation, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, will be spent eating a raisin, eating a grape, walking a few feet. Why? Because if we can become truly mindful, truly present with that raisin, with that grape, with our footstep, then we have awoken in that moment to the divine. When we are truly present and mindful, we have answered yes to the invitation of the universe to be embraced, held, every cell of our being by the divine presence. That invitation is ours every second, every millisecond. But we have to answer yes. And the only way we can answer yes is to open ourselves every moment to that presence. And whether we can find it through eating a raisin, through walking, through chanting a mantra, through being aware of our breath, through trying to see everyone around us as divine. Whatever our practice is, we are bringing the divine spirit into our lives. Join us after the break for inspiration and transformation.
A conscious lifestyle for a mindful life. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Hi, this is Sylvia Henderson, intuitive life coach and energy healer. Are you ready to elevate and rise way above your normal? Be sure to listen to my show, Intuitive Transformations, on OMTimes Radio, Sunday evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern. Get the inspiration you need to transform your life.
Are you trying to get from point A to point B and need a little advice? Connect with the counselors at OMTimes Advisors. Whether you're looking for a life coach or a spiritual intuitive, the advisors participating at advisors.omtimes.com were carefully chosen based on their gifts, skills, and professionalism. OMTimes Advisors, connecting you with the best advisors in the business. Being a radio host on IOM FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network.
Time to read that inspiring book or that blog post you've been meaning to get to? In your busy world, how do you improve yourself and keep your life going? I'm Lisa Kay, and my Between Heaven and Earth radio show can transform your life just by listening. Be uplifted with inspiring topics, positive stories, and ideas that really work. Between Heaven and Earth radio is conscious living for your soul, every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time.
The future of internet radio is here. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Welcome back to Inspiration and Transformation, where I'm speaking to you from the holy banks of Mother Ganga in Rishikesh. Before the break, we were talking about how to bring spirituality into our daily lives. We were talking about mindfulness and presence, and how when we bring mindfulness and presence to anything we are doing, from eating to walking to interacting, it becomes spiritual practice. When we are fully present in the moment, we are with God. We are with the divine, because God is already there. And again, when I say God, it can be any name, any form, however we connect to the divine, with name, without name, with form, without form. It doesn't matter. That divine presence is there all the time. It is us who are absent. And we are absent literally because we are absent-minded. Because our consciousness is wrapped up with falseness, with false identities, with expectations, with desires, with grudges, with ego, with all of that, which is not who we are, not the true, full, whole, complete self. And because we are wrapped up with all of that, because our consciousness has gone into the not self, we are not conscious of the present. We are not living in consciousness. And so when we bring our awareness back, when we bring our consciousness back to the present, to this moment, right here, right now, not what's going to happen, what might happen, not what already happened, or should have happened but didn't happen. None of that. When we bring our awareness fully into the present moment, then we are present. And when we are present, we are with God. We are with the divine. As my Guru Swamiji always says, the sun is shining, but we're sitting in a dark room with the curtains drawn, chanting prayers for the sun, doing sun salutations, praying for the sun, waiting for the sun, searching for the sun. All we have to do is open the curtains. The sun is already there. It's already shining. The divine presence is already there. There is nothing in this world other than that presence, except the untruth into which our mind takes us. So if we can bring the mind back to the present, bring our awareness back to the present, then the present moment really becomes a present, really becomes a gift. Because we are there with the divine. And then every moment becomes a spiritual moment. The next question was, what is the difference between spirituality and religion? Theoretically, ideally, spirituality and religion should be the same. The fundamental point and purpose of religion, in its purest, is to bring us closer to God. Again, by any name or any form, or no names or no form, to bring us closer to that supreme, universal, infinite spirit, and to help us connect deeply within ourselves. At its purest, that's what religion should be, is a path, a way to have that experience, to know ourselves. Tragically, however, religion gets co-opted. It gets co-opted by things that have nothing to do with God, nothing to do with divinity or connection. Religion gets co-opted by politics. It gets co-opted by power. It gets co-opted by finance. So in the name of religion, wars are fought. But they're not actually fought, typically, over ways of worship or names of God. What they're fought over is land, resources, power, money. So religion gets co-opted by these other aspects. But that's not really what religion is. Religion is not politics. Religion is not power. Religion is not finance. If we could take religion back to its purest, to its highest and most ideal, it would be almost synonymous with spirituality. But because it's been so co-opted, we find so many people these days saying, well, I'm spiritual but not religious. What that means really is, I'm deeply connected to God, or I'd like to be deeply connected to God. But I don't buy all of the dogma. I don't want to be bound into a box. Religion and spirituality should free us, not bind us. They should free us from the chains of ignorance, from the chains of illusion, from the chains of darkness that tell us you're small, you're worthless, you're finite, you're fallible, you're this physical body. Religion should free us from that. But again, because it's been so co-opted, religion these days tends in so many ways to bind us. But that isn't the truth of what religion is. So again, going back to the purity, the highest of religion, it should be something that frees us. And at its highest and purest, it is. At its highest and purest in the scriptures of the world's religions, from the great mystics, the great sages of the world's religions, we are told over and over again, God lives within us. We are told over and over again that God is infinite, that the Creator is within the creation, that freedom is there. Sadly, those of us looking for that freedom these days turn more to what is known as spirituality than that which is known as religion. And that's okay. It doesn't matter what we call it. God isn't worried about semantics. If you're a mother or a father and your child calls you mom or mommy or mama or ma, it doesn't matter to you. Or if the child can't really speak yet and just says mama, mama, you don't care. What you know is that child is calling out to you. If you are a father and your child says, Dad, Daddy, Papa, Pa, Dad, doesn't matter. You don't have a preference of one name over another name. One way of loving you over another way of loving you. One child paints you pictures, another child crawls on you and uses you as a jungle gym, another sings you songs. It doesn't matter. What you know is that child is calling out to you. And God is the same. It doesn't matter whether we call it religion or we call it spirituality. What matters is that we open ourselves to that connection, that we reach our arms out to be held, that we open our hearts and allow every cell of our being to be infused with that divine presence, that we allow ourselves to be in the lap of the divine. So don't worry whether you call it spirituality or religion. Just open yourself. Open yourself to the divine presence in whatever way works for you. We'll come back in a few minutes after the break.
Your conscious lifestyle on steroids. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Hello, I'm Miriam Knight of New Consciousness Review, inviting you to my new show where I interview the rising stars of the conscious awakening. We'll explore the many faces of consciousness in action and intriguing perspectives on life, the universe, and everything in between. Join us each Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern on the Rising Stars Show.
The number one reason girls drop out of school in sub-Saharan Africa is lack of access to feminine hygiene products. The Pads for Schoolgirls Project, an outreach of Humanity Healing International, is changing this paradigm by setting up sewing programs at schools, teaching girls a vocational skill, while producing the reusable pads that help keep them attending classes. The girls pay it forward by making and giving pad kits to other girls in need. To learn more, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is. Host your show on IOM FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community.
Hi everyone, this is Shay Parker, the host of Best of the Best, which airs live right here on IOM Radio every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Pacific. I'm super excited to bring you expert guest hosts, spiritual discussions, free psychic readings, and so much more. I can promise that you will not want to miss this one-of-a-kind, fun, yet touching, down-to-earth show. Join us every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific on OTR-FM. This is Shay Parker, and I can't wait to see you there.
Feed your soul with waves of consciousness on OMTimes Radio.
Welcome back to inspiration and transformation from the holy banks of Mother Ganga, in the lap of the Himalayas in Rishikesh. We've spoken about bringing spirituality into our daily lives. We've spoken about the difference between spirituality and religion. The last question for this session this week is God formless or does God have form? Does it matter whether we envision God, worship God, or connect with form or without form? It doesn't matter. God, the divine, is infinite. All of our religions, all of our cultures, all of our scriptures tell us God is infinite. If God were not infinite, God wouldn't be God. If God were finite, then God would be part of the manifest reality of the creation. And God is in the creation, but as the creator, God is infinite. So it doesn't matter whether we connect with God through a form or formless. One way to think about it is that water takes the form of whatever it is in. Water itself has no form. Air has no form. I can fill a jar with water. The water will take the form of my jar. I can fill a jar with air. The air will take the form of the jar. But that isn't the form of water or air, because the moment that the jar is broken or opened, water, air, both go back to their formless state. Another way to think about it is if I have an infinite number of containers set outside, reflecting the light of the sun. As many containers as I set out, that's as many different ways that I will see the reflection of the sun. As many different ways as I will see light. A tall, thin, translucent glass will reflect the light in a very different way than a small, flat, earthen vase will reflect the light, which is very different from the way that a large, cylindrical, green-colored plastic bucket would reflect the light. In each of these containers, with a little bit of water or a lot of water, I will get a reflection of the sun. And again, the reflection and the light will depend not only on the container, but on the amount of water in it. It'll depend on the murkiness of the water. So the sun is one. The light is one. The light does not have any particular form. Just like the water doesn't have form, or the air doesn't have form. But we are able to see them, to connect with them, to understand them with form. Because they take whatever form they are put in. In the same way, the divine is infinite and manifests through all of creation, which means whether we are in the form of a human, or the form of a tree, the form of a large human, a small human, a large tree, flower, an ant, an elephant, a sunset, or in the formless, love, consciousness. The divine is in all of those, pervades all of those, pervades everything. And yet transcends everything. In the same way that if I have a jar of air and then I break the jar, what am I left with? Everything or nothing? The Buddhists tend to speak about nothingness. The Hindus tend to speak about everythingness. But they're both going to the same place, which is that we've got this container, this physical container. But when it breaks, when I've removed all of the layers of the onion, when I've removed all of the layers of the not self, when I come face to face with the self, is it nothing or is it everything? When the jar breaks, do I have no air? Or do I have all the air? When the drop merges with the ocean, is there no more? Or is it everything? So that's the way that we think about God with form or without form. It doesn't matter. God is both. Formless, yes. The supreme reality, yes. Infinite, unknowable, unnameable, yes. And also reflected in, manifest in, pervading everything. Because God is infinite. Imagine for a moment, another way to think about it is if you love someone, and let's say that the person who you love, let's say their name is Peter, and you really love Peter. And to you, the most beautiful part of someone are the eyes. You're an eyes person. So when you spend time with Peter, you just look into Peter's eyes. And when you describe Peter to your friends, to your family, you describe how you can see the universe in Peter's eyes. You draw pictures of eyes. You write poems about eyes. Someone else also loves Peter. But that person maybe is a hand person. Needs a hand to hold. So that person is focused on Peter's hand. It's strong and soft, always there. That person writes poems and songs and sonnets about hands, paints pictures of hands, describes Peter's hands. Someone else loves Peter. That person needs a shoulder to cry. And so that person is focused on Peter's shoulder and how firm it is, but also soft, wide enough to lay one's head upon. And that person writes poems and songs and sonnets about shoulders and draws pictures of shoulders and makes sculptures of shoulders. Now that's all okay. Those of us who love Peter, we all know that we're loving the same being. And it doesn't matter whether we're loving the eyes or the hands or the shoulders or the knees or the elbows or anything else. And it's fine with Peter, of course. Because what Peter wants is to be connected to us with love. And whether we connect via hand or via shoulder or via eyes, doesn't matter. The problem comes and the fights come thousands of years later. when the disciples, the followers of the eyes person, thinks that Peter is just eyes. Because what they have are pictures of eyes, and the disciples of the hand person thinks that Peter is just hands, and the disciple of the shoulder person thinks Peter is shoulders. And now these people are killing each other over whether Peter is eyes or hands or shoulders. And some say Peter is no form. All of that is true. Peter is the eyes and the hands and the shoulders, and so much more. And everything, the full whole. So whether we worship with a particular form, metaphorically the eyes or the hands or the shoulders, or whether we worship in its entirety, what just matters is that we connect and we love. That love is the most important. Next week, on inspiration and transformation, we will talk about anger and forgiveness. How do we let go of anger at ourselves and anger at others? How can we forgive, forget, and move forward? Join me next Thursday, Inspiration and Transformation. Have a beautiful, beautiful week. May the waters of Mother Ganga